What's going on, everybody? It's been a while since I've done a live stream, so if I'm having comms issues, please let me know because I'm looking at this interface here on this Restream app, and like some of the shit I don't even remember how to use. So I apologize for that. So hey, the reason I'm doing a live stream, I plan on this being real quick, guys. I just have to make a few announcements. One of them's really big. It's probably the biggest development for my YouTube channel ever. So I wanted to go live and let you guys know, because I've been pretty quiet for the last 3 weeks or so, and that's for good reason. I've been pretty busy. I've been up to something. All right. I did get done with Winter Forge about a month ago, but that's not why I've been radio silent. I've been working on something big, so I'll talk about that here in a minute. Before I get to that, I want to make an announcement, guys. The spring semesters of winter One Shepherd are coming up, and you guys need to, registration's open. So get to it. Okay. There's 3 different companies. You got Alpha Company in the Ulman, Missouri. You got Bravo Company in West Virginia, and you got Charlie Company down in Florida. So you got 3 different options. You guys can see the dates up there. One Shepherd is just a phenomenal training institution, guys. I've been stumping for them for a long time. It's probably the best small unit leadership and tactics course that you could attend. I've been doing it for years, guys. I'm a black hat instructor there. All the instructors are volunteers. Nobody's in it for the money. All the guys that are instructing are just there for the pure joy of instructing and teaching guys in the art of small unit tactics and leadership. Okay. So I can't sing enough praise about that institution. It's just a phenomenal organization. That's why I've been a part of it for so long. Okay. So it's your opportunity. Get to a semester. Okay. They're coming up. Spring semesters. I also have fall, but if you can, get yourself to a spring semester. Think of it not as really a training class, but more of it as like a college with semesters, and you're working towards completing all the different curriculum. So, all right. The second thing I want to say before I reveal the big news here, give me a second. Gonna pull something up. It's a little bit different when I don't have another party in here, because there's awkward silence. Okay. So this is a good friend of mine I served with in combat. He has a company called Greenside Training, and what he does is he puts on courses for tracking, like literally tracking people in different environments. I think he's even expanding it to urban tracking. But this guy is just awesome. His name's Freddie Asuna. Again, I served with him in the Marine Corps. We went down range together in Iraq, 2004, and he's just a phenomenal Marine. He's been doing this for a long time. He's very, very good at what he does. He's an actual Native American, not fucking Pocahontas. Okay, he's an actual Native American. He knows his shit. He teaches these courses to law enforcement, military, and civilians. So you can go down there and just get a phenomenal course on not just tracking, but he also puts on courses on camouflage. He was a Marine Scout sniper for a good amount of time. Just a phenomenal guy, and I can't say enough about him. A lot of you have probably already heard of him, but he's hosting a course in Texas, down in South Texas. So if you're in that area, be sure to jump on that. Okay. So, all right. Without further ado, again, I said this was going to be a very quick live stream. I just wanted to put this out there, guys, so that you know it's coming down the pipe. Okay. This has been a long time coming. But it's something I've aspired and dreamed about, and it's coming to fruition. So what's happening? I have purchased a good amount of size land in the Texarkana area. I intend to open up essentially a training facility. And this isn't just going to be, Brent0331 training facility. Come take my freaking courses and pay me money. No. I'm opening up a training facility to host people to come to teach different courses at. Okay. In the future, will I put on courses myself? Maybe, but I don't intend to do that on the onset. I'm building a fob right now. So what does that mean? I'm buying tents, I'm getting cots, I'm getting life-sustaining equipment so that people can stay there on the property at the fob, kind of like the One Shepherd model, if you've ever been to one of those semesters, so that these courses, can be, 2-3 days or more, depending on what it is. Okay. So I'll give you an example. I just got done talking about my buddy Greenside training. I've reached out to him. I told him what my plans were. Like, hey man, I'm in the process of doing this. What are the chances that you in the future could come and teach at my training facility, one of your classes? And he's like, fucking, he's all about it. So, so that's the kind of example, guys, that is going to be coming down the pipe in the future. Having Freddie come out, putting on like a 2-day class over tracking out there in the Texarkana woods. The property is just immaculate. In terms of training, just great opportunities. I'm not going to reveal too much about how it's set up and laid out yet. I just want to let you guys know that it's just a phenomenal training area. It's going to be a phenomenal time. Another one I'm talking to Stokermatic. I've reached out to him. You guys, you've seen me work with him in the SEER challenge. I reached out to Stoker and was like, hey man, what do you think about, possibly coming out to the facility and, putting on some survival courses and some land nav courses? And he's like, fucking tell me when. He's all about it. So I could have Stokermatic come out and maybe put on a 2-3 day course. Land nav, Stokermatic is just a phenomenal land nav instructor. He did that in the Army. He actually was at I think it was an NCO school teaching young soldiers, how to land nav. So he's just a phenomenal instructor in teaching and breaks it down Barney style. And some of his earliest videos, I think it's actually how he got started. We're just doing videos over land navigation. So he's just a phenomenal instructor on that. So, I picture, and again, this could change, but I picture Stoker coming down and maybe doing a day full-blown land nav, and then we transition into a survival course. And the area where this training is going to be taking place, it's freaking abundant. There's running water, i.e. like a river. There's a lake. There is abundant wildlife. So, talking about like water purification, field expedient shelters, might even fucking kill a hog, clean it, gut it, eat it, cook it, and fucking eat that shit out there in the field. So, that's the kind of stuff we're looking at, man. This is going to be some outstanding training, outstanding stuff. I'm bringing in, or I'm going to look to try to bring in some top quality guys that I can vouch for. So I've also reached out to SNS Training Solutions. They are the ones that put on Winter Forge. Asked them what the possibilities of them coming down and hosting some of their small unit tactics courses, force on force. They also have miles gear, just like One Shepherd. So they could come out. They usually do their courses that are about 2 or 3 day gunfighter type courses. So, if you're not into the 1 week long One Shepherd type semesters, like SNS Training Solutions puts on some just fabulous, awesome, outstanding courses, just like Winter Forge. And so having them come out, doing some force on force with miles gear out there on the facility. So, and here we go. Here's the big one, guys. I am going to stand up Delta Company, One Shepherd. So there's already there's already Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. I'm going to stand up Delta out there at the facility. So 2 weeks of the year, there'll be 2 semesters of One Shepherd available for those of you in the Northeast Texas area. And that's pretty much open to guys, Oklahoma, Louisiana, all of North Texas area. Shit, if you want to travel from Houston or anywhere, Texas is huge, but it's really smack dab in the middle of all those different states: Arkansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Northeast Texas. We're talking about 2 to 4 hours drive if you're in one of those areas. So it's going to be a perfectly positioned company, and I feel like it's just going to be very successful. It's going to have a lot of turnout, and I'm going to bring in the best of the best guys to teach Delta. but Delta Company One Shepherd will be stood up at the earliest 2026. But again, I'm going to start putting on courses out there, whether it's SNS Training Solutions or bringing in instructors to teach classes. I'm going to try to get that going as soon as possible. All right, guys. Again, I am building the FOB right now. I am acquiring the living quarters, the life-sustaining equipment to facilitate guys staying and training on the property. Doing that all right now, and as soon as I have that in position, I'm going to start, reaching out and start setting up some of these classes, and then we'll hopefully freaking Delta Company One Shepherd starts in the 2026 timeframe. So this will be your opportunity, guys. I will be most likely the company commander of Delta Company at One Shepherd when it starts 2026 here in the northeastern part of Texas, Texarkana area. So that's a big announcement, guys. Brand new area for me to film and train, just do a whole bunch of shit that, I couldn't do before at the previous location that I've built. What prompted me to do this? This has always been a long time goal of mine, guys. I've always wanted to get this done. I finally had the financial assets in place to make this move, make this jump, and some other things kind of pushed me to get this done. The place that I normally film my videos at, it's essentially getting wiped out. I live in North Texas, and North Texas is growing like crazy. So the woods that I film in, literally just a couple 100 meters to the east of where I film, they're mowing down the fucking woods. They're building tract homes, and this is out in the country. It was country. It's not going to be country much longer. So, all the videos and stuff that I used to film in a certain area that I used to film, it's not going to be real feasible anymore. So that kind of propelled me to get the ball rolling on this. So when one door shuts, guys, another one opens. So this is honestly the best case scenario. So let's see. Let me read some of the comments here because I've just been bumping my gums. Let's see. Guys asking about gear lists. It depends on what course you're going to. If you're talking about One Shepherd, there's actual One Shepherd gear list on the website. I've also done my own video over what you need to attend your very first semester. I see one guy says he lives in Plano. Hey, man, you are in freaking range of Delta Company One Shepherd. When the facility opens up, I'm telling you, you're probably about 2.5, 3 tops hours away. That's nothing when it comes to training. Odessa, you're a little bit farther, man, but it'll be worth it. I tell you, promise you. Let's see. Am I still going to film some? Yes, absolutely. This is expanding my horizons. Literally, the stuff I'll be able to do out here at that training place. Now that's not where I'm going to be living full time, but it's going to be my getaway, and I'm going to be out there all the time. So absolutely, when I go out there, I'll film. So let's see. Catching up on comments here. Yeah, so before I even announce that somebody's, talking about One Shepherd opening out there. Yep, that's the plan, guys. Delta Company. It's going to come to fruition. Let's see. Season 5 SEER Challenge at your place. Yep, 100%, guys. It's already been talked about with Randall at Grunt Proof. Yes. The facility is the property is probably just big enough to host Season 5 of the SEER Challenge. So that's a very real possibility. Table hasn't been slapped yet, but I'll tell you, it has been talked about 100%. So, and which will be good. We've hosted, 3, going on 4 seasons out there in the mountains of California, and it'll be good to switch that up for Season 5 or 6, whatever one we end up doing out here in Texas. 2 Alpha Solutions. Just tune in. Awesome news, brother. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Will it be Red Dawn themed? I'm not sure what's the Red Dawn theme for. A particular training class or One Shepherd? Or what are you talking about, bud? Yeah, so I see one guy posting. He's like, "That's amazing. I'm not too far from Texarkana." And yes. Texarkana is just like I was talking to Doc, he's kind of the original founder of the One Shepherd Leadership Institute, and I'm telling him, I'm like, man, this is strategically positioned. You got the guys in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, and I'm telling you, like, it's going to be perfectly positioned for those people. I feel like Delta is probably going to be the most attended company once it gets going, just because of where it's at. And I say that because when I go up to Missouri, which is about an 8-hour drive or so from my house to go up there, I don't see very many people from Texas up there. I don't even see very many people from Oklahoma. Not to say that there's not any, but I just don't encounter them too much. So it makes me feel that, there's a lot of folks that would like to attend that training. It's just going up to Missouri is just too far for them. So I feel like once I open this company up in, Texarkana area, it's going to be within reach for a lot of folks, and it's going to be a very well attended company for One Shepherd and the rest of the training classes that are put on down there. So, yeah, the legendary forest. Yep. I'm telling you guys, the place. So I'll give you an example. A lot of the videos you see the trench in. So I did like a World War II video several years back with all the guys. I did another one that was more modern. It was actually called The Trench. That trench in that video is gone. It's wiped out. Bulldozers ran over it, man. They're making room for track homes. So that is absolutely no more. And it's just, heartbreaking to see all that, but it is what it is. So, all those new homes for blue Cali votes, maybe, or we could possibly be getting the good ones. Here in Texas, we get a mixture of both. So it's just a question of, are we getting the good ones and a little bit of the bad ones, or is it equal, or are they outnumbered? I don't know. So I remember there was a poll done one time about new voters coming in, and the new people coming in from California were actually voting significantly for Ted Cruz in this one particular election when they took this poll. So that was a good sign, because that means you're getting people that aren't looking to change our way of life here in Texas, moving into the state. So deforestation is a major problem. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, it's heartbreaking, man. It's big, beautiful woods, and they just came in and fucking plowed it all out. So there's only about half of what there originally was. And, for me to film my videos, it would be like camera angles. I can only use certain angles, because if I pin the camera too far to the right, you're going to see a bunch of, track homes. How stupid is that? So all the stuff I've done in the past, like the SOG video and the LERP video, us doing those intro videos or shooting fully automatic weapons, man, people are gonna be calling in noise complaints left and right. Like it's terrible. Used to be country, do whatever the hell you want, go on your porch, take a piss, wide open, and all that's coming to an end out there where I used to film. So let's see. Thank God I've been waiting to see you do this. Knew you had this, Brent. Thank you, bud. Appreciate you. Catching up on comments here. How many acres? So we're looking at around 135 or so. So it's about 135. So it's I'm gonna have a fob area, and then there's a training area that's just like natural woods, and it's got a bunch of awesome terrain features in those woods that are gonna do a really awesome job of facilitating training. Kind of give you guys a different look. Let's see. I'm in Tulsa and hop skip it. Yep, 100%, man. That's what I said. Dudes in Oklahoma, this is gonna be your company. Now, of course, you guys can go to any of the One Shepherd companies. And again, One Shepherd is like, think of it more of as a college. They have semesters, and at each of those semesters, they teach different subjects. Okay. So they have a track, and you follow that track to get, certain levels of your One Shepherd training, so that you can move on. And if you so desire, when you complete your track, you can move on and become an instructor. If you're a veteran with significant, like infantry background, background like myself, you might even be able to be fast tracked through that if being an instructor is something you aspire. So again, all the instructors at One Shepherd are all volunteers. I haven't received a dime for any of the teaching I've done at One Shepherd, or any, the COs, all the staff at One Shepherd. Like, none of them are paid employees. So that's how when you're getting good training. You're getting guys that are doing it out of the love of doing it. They're not doing it for a paycheck. Okay. Not to say that making money is a bad thing. Absolutely not. I'm just saying that the dudes are going there, their heart's in it. So you know that for sure. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of people are commenting on the destruction of the woods. Yeah, I know, it's fucking killing me. It's fucking killing me. But again, when one door shuts, another one opens. Because if this didn't happen, it might not have pushed me to make this happen. So it's like, again, this has always been my dream to acquire property and set up a training facility. But this event, the destruction of the woods I typically film in, if that didn't happen, this probably wouldn't be happening right now, what I'm talking about. Yes, one guy's like, that's a drive from Montana. So yeah, well, I mean, obviously it's not gonna be in reach for everybody, but I mean, you're in luck. You have other companies, right? You got Alpha Company in Missouri. There is a plan to push further west eventually. Right now there's nothing, but I can tell you guys that the idea is to push further west. And I think maybe Echo Company will probably stand up in the Vegas area, maybe Nevada, but who knows when that happens, will happen. I don't know. I kind of hit One Shepherd with a curveball, because I came out of the blue and I'm like, hey, just bought this property. I want to stand up a company. So Doc's like, whoa, what? So yeah, that's where we're standing right now. Let's see what we got. Guy says they'd love to see some content on fob ops. Well, so the fobs at One Shepherd are like the tents, the classrooms, the mess area, and like you do all your kind of preliminary training. So you're learning how to get into formations at a fire team rush, stuff like that. Doing rehearsals, you do all that around the fob or in the fob. So it's really all that's going to be. The fob is just essentially where your shit's at while you're not training. Red Dawn themed classes. So he was answering his comment earlier. So, well, I mean, you go to One Shepherd, man, or some of the other classes like SNS Training Solutions and learn, and that's all Red Dawn theme. You learn small unit leadership and tactics. Oklahoma's got some solid Minuteman. I have no doubt. There's some phenomenal terrain up there in Oklahoma, and I actually know a couple guys from Oklahoma, and they're all good dudes. And they all train. CD Rogers, I went to 1S for the 40th. Yes, the 40th was phenomenal. If you guys haven't seen my video I did over the 40th anniversary of One Shepherd, holy fuck. They brought in a Huey helicopter, and we got picked up and inserted on the Huey helicopter for the 40th. And they had the Missouri Militia was on one side. There were some other guys. SNS Training Solutions was also allied with the Missouri Militia, and there was I think it was like the old guy squad. So just kind of a few other One Shepherd alum were on the Blue 4, and then on our side, the Op 4 side, we had the One Shepherd guys, and then we had the Light Fighter Studies Group was our recon element, and man, it was so many people. So essentially, One Shepherd has Miles gear, SNS Training Solutions has Miles gear. And Mike Klein, who's another guy, he had his own company, Klein Machining, but he had some Miles sets, and they brought them all together so that we could have this big, giant battle for the 40th. It was just amazing. It was probably the best One Shepherd semester without a doubt, it was the best One Shepherd semester I've ever been to. Let's see. Congratulations, Brent. Guys, Florida is the first One Shepherd this spring. Sign up. Yep. So Florida is a relatively new company. It's been going for, I think, 2 years. But Chris Neatling is the CO down there. He's a former Special Forces guy. Great dude. He started up the Florida semester, and they're down there in the swamps. And if I'm not mistaken, they're actually allowed to wear tiger stripes and jungle boots as an alternate uniform to woodland. So they did that because of the the jungle-ish style environment that they're training in down there. So it's kind of a neat thing that's exclusive to the Florida Charlie company down there. So I'm gonna have to come up with something for for Delta guys. I think the nickname right now is Lone Star. That's gonna be Delta company's call sign, in my opinion. We'll see what happens. But might have to come up. Might have to rip Doc to allow the use of Vietnam jungle boots for Delta company too. So let's see. Will there ever be big classes like One Shepherd and near Idaho? Well, again, the long-term plan is to push west. So who knows when that's going to happen, guys? I don't know. I can tell you that the next company after mine, Delta in Texas, is probably going to be in Nevada, but I can't tell you when that stands up. And then from there, I don't know. I know Doc plans on having 2 regiments. So they have the 1st regiment, which will be Alpha Bravo Charlie, maybe Delta rolled into that. And then the 2nd regiment is going to be the subsequent training companies. Let's see. Scrolling through comments here, guys, trying to keep up. Yeah, somebody's talking about that was a glorious trench. It was a really cool, just natural trench. I was able to film so many different short videos using that thing. So that was hard to see that shit just plowed over. Any new Kill House CQB content? I don't have a Kill House, guys. I had a little mock-up thing that I built a long time ago, just out of plywood. It was years ago, and over the years of just being out in the elements, it just became dilapidated and unusable. So my dog's whining over here. Hold on 1 second. All right. Let's see. Catching up. Yeah. This is the one thing I hate about doing these solo live streams, guys. There's no one to fill in the gap when I'm trying to read comments. So if you're just joining in, the big news is I've purchased some land in Texarkana area of Texas, and my intent is to establish a training area out there, building a FOB and hosting different training courses, bringing in instructors to teach classes out there. Whether it's 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, I want to get FOB sustaining gear out there, tents, cots, shitters, the whole 9 yards, running water, all that stuff to sustain guys staying out there at the FOB if they're not sleeping in the field for that training. But again, my intent is to host classes out there, bring guys in to teach classes, quality instructors to put on training out there. In addition to that, hosting SNS Training Solutions, allow them come in there and host their courses and training events, as well as stand up Delta Company One Shepherd down there in Texarkana. So we got a no shit One Shepherd company here in Texas for the first time. So that's where we're at. Yeah, so the comments are starting to get too vast for me to keep up here. Let's see, Light Fighters Anonymous. Acquired any more of the programs still sharing equipment amongst the companies? Yes, they are still sharing Miles equipment. So essentially, once the gear is used at one company, they got to move it to the next company. And then once it's done at that company, they move it to the next company. So there's just a rotation of that gear, that Miles 2000 equipment. So that's kind of the critical vulnerability of One Shepherd. However, it's still running, still going. And That's why you'll never have semesters that are running parallel with each other. They're always going to be, one this month or one this next month, and so on and so forth. The good news about that is, if you want to fast track your training in One Shepherd, hey, you can attend a semester in Alpha that's teaching one type of curriculum, and then go to the next company, Bravo, who's teaching a different segment of that curriculum. Go to Charlie, and then eventually you're going to be able to come back to Delta, and you might get a whole year's worth of training in one year. Right? Oh, that's stupid. Okay, you might get all of the course curriculum in 1 year and get to that first level. Your light fighter scroll and all that shit, and make your way up to becoming an instructor at One Shepherd in a matter of a year. Which before, back when I first started, there was only one company. There was Alpha Company, and shit, I was going to multiple semesters for at Alpha Company for a few years before I started to get some of the the One Warrior tabs and One Leader tabs and all that stuff. And I was even fast tracked because of my military experience. So, I mean, you guys that are jumping into One Shepherd now, you have so much opportunity. If you really are invested in the program, you want to go on these leadership tracks, man, you can knock all this stuff out really quick. If you have the time and the ability to attend those semesters and just get it all done. So I highly encourage you. There are several instructors in One Shepherd that have simply a civilian background, no military training, formal military training, just simply have gone to One Shepherd, and they're squared away guys. And if you met them for the first time, you would think that they had some military background just because of the quality of the training at One Shepherd. It's a very well established program, guys. I can't praise it enough. Let's see. Still scrolling through here, guys. Let's see. How involved is Larson at this point? I mean, he's still part of the program. I don't know. He doesn't go to every training company for sure. So Chris K in charge of Florida. Yes. This guy's posting, man, he showed me some good infantry stuff at the 40th. Very knowledgeable. Yeah, he was, Chris Nealing was a former Special Forces guy. And I mean, that's what they do. Special Forces, man, they instruct, they are force multipliers. They go and they get indigenous personnel and they teach them how to freaking be grunts, essentially. So they're phenomenal at doing that stuff. Let's see. Scrolling through. I saw a couple political questions, guys. I'm not going to go down rabbit holes of political stuff. I will tell you that I am on board with everything that's going on right now. I'm ecstatic over the last election. And the changes that are happening right now in the U.S. military, for which I am still part of, I am in the United States Marine Corps Reserves, are phenomenal. I've seen the stuff I've seen come down a pipe in the since the election. I'm telling you guys, these are good times. We are in the onset of some good times right now. So. All right. Hey, John, welcome aboard, brother. Do you want to jump in here? I see Alpha Charlie Concepts. I'm getting tired of talking by myself. So if you guys are just jumping on, again, I'll say this. If John's not going to jump on, I'll probably start winding this down. But purchase some land, Texarkana area. I plan to establish a training facility there. I'm in the process right now of accumulating all the stuff I need to build a FOB for guys to stay at the training facility. So that way dudes don't have to get hotels. And I mean, we're talking Texarkana. I mean, it's fucking rural. So if, you're trying to find a hotel, you're gonna be driving an hour probably to get a decent place. So I don't want that. I want guys to be able to stay in the field in hooches with cots and all the life support systems. So I'm trying to accumulate all that right now. That's where I'm at in this stage in this process. And then once I have the fob established, I'm gonna start reaching out to guys, good quality instructors, to start putting on some training classes at the facility. These are going to be anywhere from 24-hour classes to 72-hour classes. Oh, it sucks, John. Killing me, man. But anyways, 1 to 3 day courses with different instructors teaching different subjects. And then ultimately, awesome, I'm going to be standing up Delta Company, One Shepherd. So I'm going to have a dedicated Delta Company, One Shepherd in Texas for the first time. So all the awesome One Shepherd training is going to finally be brought to Texas, and that's going to put in range of Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, and all of the North and East Texas guys, even Houston for that matter. Like, if you guys are going to be in range of that. And that's one thing when I was going up to Missouri for Alpha Company. I never really saw too many guys from Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas. I mean, they're there, but it's like a handful. There wasn't very many of them, and I think it's primarily because of the distance. One guy asked, "Will it be open to civilians?" It's all going to be open to civilians. That's mainly what this is going to be about. You guys are training armed prepared citizens. Yes. John's like, you spilled the beans. Yeah. So John, I've been talking to John, letting him know, John, UW Gear, John, Alpha Charlie Concepts. I've been letting him know where I was at. I sent him a link of the place when I was first looking at it. I was like, hey man, I'm thinking about this place. What do you think? But it's all official. Tables are slapped. It's done deal. So right now we're at the fob building process. So. But once I get this going, guys, I'm telling you, like the training that's going to be put on out there is just going to be first rate stuff, and it's just not all going to be the same cookie cutter stuff. I'm talking getting dudes, bringing them out, teaching survival shit, land navigation, tracking, with Greenside training. Him coming out here and putting on some courses over tracking. Will there be drone stuff is one of the questions. Well, drones have been used at One Shepherd for at least the last, I think, 4 years. The students have brought out drones and have been able to use them. So will I be putting on a drone class? No. But, it's not outside the realm of possibility. Future stuff like that. Something I'd like to do is, get a Alpha Charlie Concepts buddy. I think it's Brush Beater, radio guy. I think it'd be cool. That's just an example. If you would be willing to come out and teach a class over, some comms and stuff out there, I think that'd be freaking awesome. Don't know if that would ever happen, but that's just an example of this kind of stuff I'm looking at, reaching out to some of these, quality instructors that I know are out there and seeing if they'll come to my facility to put on these courses. So I see prepared citizens in there. Yeah, man, freaking first aid shit, 100%. That would be an awesome, maybe combat first aid course held out there. Man, there's some wild hogs out there. Fucking get some of them wild hogs and do some live tissue training on them. I don't know if that's legal or not, but Alpha Charlie Concept, he's like, I got a few guys I'm going to hook you up with. I appreciate it, brother. Yes, absolutely. I'm in the process right now. I'm building the fob, but I'm trying to gather my my Rolodex of contacts. I've already talked to Stoker-Matic about some military survival shit, coming out and teaching some of that. I've talked to my buddy about doing tracking out there. So definitely SNS Training Solutions is on board, coming out and teaching some of the small unit leadership or small unit tactics courses that they have, force on force stuff. It's just going to be phenomenal. Who's going to take a chest needle for the team? So, hey, Daniel Sander, I appreciate you, man. Thanks you for the contribution. So I appreciate it. I'm buying all this, I bought the land, obviously. I had to take a loan out for that to acquire that, but I'm buying all the tentage, the cots, everything. I'm furnishing, financing all of it. I'm buying it all first, with my stuff. I'm not asking One Shepherd to buy any of this shit because I don't want to ask One Shepherd to, purchase the stuff and then it's on my property and then I'm using it, to host people for other training other than One Shepherd. I don't feel comfortable with that, so I don't want to do that. So I'm buying the tents, I'm buying the cots, I'm buying the shitter, all that stuff, building all this fob completely with my own money, in addition to the friggin', having to buy the land and everything else. So it's a huge investment for me, guys, but it's going to pay me dividends and satisfaction. And when I get these training courses going, obviously, there'll be a little something for me for hosting the thing, and that will help pay back, all the investment I've put into getting this stuff up and running. So. All right. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. I don't have much else for you. That's the big news. That is, without a doubt, the biggest announcement that's ever happened on this YouTube channel. It's a door shut on me, and another one's opening up that's even bigger and wider. So as President Trump would say, a big, beautiful door has opened up. So going to be moving in there, and just the possibilities are endless. So this place has a lot of potential, guys. A lot of potential. Anybody got final questions? And then I'm gonna pop smoke on this one. Yeah, it's definitely quite an undertaking for sure, without a question. What's the fee going to be for training? I don't know. That's, like I said, I'm going to reach out to instructors to come and train or teach their courses on my facility. And, I don't set their prices. They have to factor in, a hosting fee to that. So whatever their normal training course prices are going to be, then for that particular instructor, that's what it's going to be. I'm not going to have any say over that. So, yeah, there's I see some people like putting recommendations for folks to reach out to. Like, yeah, man, I'll look at all that stuff. I know dudes are going to be sending me recommendations for different instructors. Once I'm set up and established, again, the possibilities are endless, guys. I'm going to reach out to these people. I'm not saying they'll come, but I want to build the best possible facility, field environment. I don't want. Let me lay this out. I don't want fucking AC buildings and fucking porcelain shitters, guys, at this training facility. This is going to be troop tents, cots. It's still going to be the field. The luxury is that you have a friggin' troop tent, and you're not sleeping on no goddamn cold, wet ground, unless the training is taking place out in the field, and we are staying the night out in the field. Yeah, you're gonna be out there in the field. But the luxury is going to be for the fob is going to be in the tent. This isn't going to be some AC building or anything like that. That's not what this place is going to be. This is a real training facility, not some fucking freaking resort. So there we go. We got Will. Will, do you want to jump in here, man? Otherwise, I'm gonna shut this down. Can't talk to myself for too much longer. Brendan Herrera visit. Yeah, I don't think these some of these big YouTubers guys are gonna come down to me. I got a decent number of subscribers, guys, but I'm probably the biggest, smallest channel on YouTube. I tell you what, most of my videos I upload only get a few thousand views. I think like less than 5,000 typically. It's crazy. That's a whole nother conversation. Let's see. This might be a good one here. If you get a hold of Light Fighter Studies Group or Light Fighters Anonymous in Missouri, I will come down and do a radio class. They've done for them for free. They know how to get a hold of me. Okay, I might just do that, man. I'm pretty good. I'm in pretty tight with the Light Fighter Studies Group guys. They come to a lot of the One Shepherd and SNS Training Solution events. So we'll see. They might be a good solid source for me for getting instructors out. So let's see. All right, so I'm going to get Will. He is the Bravo Company CO. I'm going to get him in here. Give me a second. I got to send him the link. We can talk shop for a little bit. That way I don't have to shut this down. All right, Will, I'm sending a link right now, man. All right, link just sent to you, Will, if you want to jump in. Let's see, number of subscribers, employees, reminiscent on the number of folks who actually come and train. And yeah, not too far off. Yeah, so some people are mentioning a Delta patch. So my understanding is at Charlie Company, they had a special patch for their very first semester down there. And I guess that those guys that went to that semester and that semester only get to wear a special One Shepherd patch that indicates that they were, at Charlie Company's first semester. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I have to have a Delta Lone Star Company patch. I can tell you guys there's a lot of excitement in the One Shepherd community about standing up Delta here in Texas. So I know for a fact that when we are able to kick off Delta in 2026, it's going to be, by that time, the training facility is going to be well established. I will have taught, or I would have hosted several classes, like outside non-One Shepherd classes at the facility. If I would have had SNS Training Solutions out there by that time. So hopefully I would have gotten all the kinks out. So by the time One Shepherd kicks off, with its larger group, it'll be pretty well established and good to go. It's funny. I was talking about, no AC buildings and stuff at Delta Company. Well, I'm not shitting on some of the other companies because I know Bravo and Charlie Company, they have those now. If you go train at Bravo and Charlie companies, they have AC buildings and stuff at their FOB because they're training on actual like facilities that are run in their companies that to maintain them and stuff like that. So it's a little bit different experience. I remember when Bravo was first started up, like there was nothing. It was out there at the BSR, which is like this track in West Virginia where like they do, they teach driving skills and shit like that. And, but I mean, we just had tents and, and like, water cans, and like there was nothing, man. Their porta shitters was the biggest luxury out there during that. So they've come a long way since then. One of the guys says, does the property have a variety of terrain? Yes, it does. It's got some different terrain features. It's gonna be a lot of woods. It's mostly gonna be woods, but there's a little bit of elevation. There's a river. There's a body of water, and should be pretty good. All right, Will. I'm waiting on Will. He's coming in. He's a Bravo Company commander, one shepherd. So I have a little discourse with him before I shut this down. I was gonna stop, guys, because I was getting tired of talking to myself. I will tell you guys that I see one guy said he's gonna dig a foxhole on day one. Hey, this is gonna be private property, so you can absolutely do that stuff. I'm not gonna have those. Sometimes you go to train at places and they have a bunch of restrictions in place. You can't do this, you can't do that. Well, because it's private property and it's gonna be my property, we're gonna be able to do a lot more shit than probably some of the other one shepherd semesters or some of the other stuff that you do. Will, what's going on, brother? You hear me?
Can you hear me, bud?
I got you. What about me?
Yeah, I read you.
Awesome. Thanks for jumping on, bro. So.
All right. So I was just getting home. So what's this big announcement?
Well, I mean, we already talked about it on the phone last night.
Yeah. Congratulations, buddy. It's good to hear. And as you alluded to, we did speak lengthily in it yesterday. So I'm glad that things are working out, and you're gonna start down this road and this adventure. So, yeah. And then I did catch the right when I was signing on, you were talking about living in the field, and yes, like I said yesterday, it's got pluses and minuses. Believe you me, the guys out there at Bravo Company, we remember them days of living out in the tents, and it does have have certain pluses and minuses. There is something to be said that if you want that true field experience, to actually be out in the field, living in a fob, Yeah.
Well, I'm sure it's nice to have hot showers.
Oh yeah. Again, like you said, when we were first going out to the BSR out there with Bravo Company, getting out there and doing some good team building skills and building those fobs and roughing it for a week, it tends to bring the guys and gals together too. But looking real forward to it, as I'm sure the guys have been seeing on the side just very recently since I was reading. It's a lot of work, but I know we all know you got this.
Yeah, so I'm looking at tents. Like, that's my big thing right now. That's kind of where I'm at in the process. And, I've been looking at the standard GP tents like we had at Bravo that first semester. But I came to the realization today that maybe that's not the way to go. So the cheapest ones I've seen are $900, and they go up to like used ones. They go up to like $1,500 for a decent used one. And I'm looking at my terrain, and it's all like woodland, like timber and stuff like that. And I'm just thinking, I don't know, man. Like, first off, I have to have an area that's open enough to facilitate a tent that length and wide. And I'm sure I can find it. If it's not there, I can cut down trees to facilitate that. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to, put the shit up, take it down, and put it up, because they're such a pain in the ass. So I'm thinking now, I found these like smaller tents that are like 6-man tents. I think they're European, but I don't know if they're official military tents because I think they're made by Miltech. But nonetheless, they look decent and they hold 6 guys. So I'm thinking, instead of getting like one of these big giant GP tents, maybe getting 3 or 4 of those, right? And that way, when guys are assigned to their squads and they have respective fire teams, like, you have a squad tent, right? Mm-hmm. So like your squad is all living together in the same hooch, and next to you is second squad, and after that is third squad. And I think it might build a little bit more unit cohesion.
It does. I would agree that too, building that cohesion and getting.
Yeah. So I'm gonna look at this, and I think this might be the best COA instead of, because up to this point I've been kind of following the cookie cutter, approach for each company, but I'm thinking maybe I need to tailor this to my AO instead of following that suit of the other places. Oh, Alpha Charlie Constance says, I got a few suggestions for you shelter wise. I'll get with you in the next few days.
Well, the good thing about it being your place, whatever you decide, I'm sure you're going to build on it, similar to out there at Missouri. I'm sure when old boy first started, it probably wasn't like it was as it went more and more and more.
Yeah, for sure. As time goes on, it's only going to get better. But I can tell you guys this from the right, like I am balls deep in getting this done. I want to start hosting training out there as soon as possible. And again, it's going to be like training courses with instructors and stuff like that, and then eventually SNS training solutions out there. So by the time the first Delta Company One Shepherd semester kicks off in 2026, like I've got the kinks out. It's solid. It's solidified. I know what's going on. Yeah.
Those logistics things that you'll have to, a little bit of bumps and growing pains this year is good, because that when you do host the One Shepherd guys out there, at least the course itself and the way that things are done, it's going to be a big plus, because we kind of have a product and know how to do that thing. So I don't think you're going to have a problem much at all. I know we talked about it shouldn't be too long till you sign on the dotted line. So I know you're real excited about that. And you have aspirations to open this thing up to a whole host of dudes and individuals out there.
And just, for those of you in the viewing audience, if you got suggestions on guys that teach, by all means, put them in the comment section so I can check them out. And, don't put the big giant YouTubers in there. Like they're not coming to my training facility to teach a class. I assure you that. All right. But there are some smaller channels out there that actually have, top quality dudes. One of them, again, is Stoker Matic. He's a Marine. He's after he did a successful enlistment in the Marine Corps, he went into the Army later on, post 9/11, and carried on his Army career until he retired. And he is just a phenomenal land nav instructor. He's a phenomenal survivalist, and I've done several SEER challenge seasons with him, and he's just a great dude, and he will be a great guy to bring down and put on some training for sure.
Well, I'm sure that land out there, something like a SEER challenge thing too, would be a good spot.
Yeah. So somebody already called that.
I'm sure they did. So.
Yeah. Grunt Proof had actually already reached out to me, because I've been talking to him about this for a while too. And he's like, hey man, not next year, but maybe the year after that, maybe we can do a SEER challenge. I'm like, fucking let's do it.
Absolutely. A change in AOs too. That'll put a little twist in things too.
Right. So I'll tell you, friggin' in that area, you're going to have to be escaping the people hunting you and the wild hogs.
I would say, and like we said, the wildlife too. So that's going to be another little thing out there too. So,
although in Randall's area, he's got friggin' bears out there, but I've actually never seen a bear out there, but I know they're there.
Yeah, well, like you said, you got to worry about them hogs. I'm sure there's tons of hogs out there. I think the big thing is, like you said, you want to get the tents and all. Would just be like shitter accommodations. Once you pick out a spot and then being able to get logistics in there to change them things out, or I mean, you can goddamn, get some barrels and burn shit like the old days. Get your old working party. Here, buddy. You want the full experience. You want the full experience. We'll get you out there stirring it.
It's funny. I went to when I went to Winter Forge, a month ago or so.
We got some good gas masks this time. So
yeah. When I was at Winter Forge, they had 2 porta shitters out there, and I was like, oh, they got porta shitters from Winter Forge. So I went in one of them, take a shit, and I looked, and they had cut the bottom out of the porta shitter and dug a deep hole. So so the portioners don't get sucked. You're just shitting in a hole. It's just
Right.
you have the luxury.
You just got an ass seat.
Yeah.
Well, if you remember out of the 40th, the Missouri guys, they had a true like place for their people to shit and all.
Oh yeah,
big giant latrine ditches with some shitter tops. So
yeah, in their hospital.
yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, they were coming off the line and they were putting them, in the back. I mean, that's I guess the Army way.
Yeah. For those of you guys that don't know what he's talking about, so they're in the 40th, and I talked about this kind of earlier, but for the 40th, we were up against the vast majority of the Blue Fort was comprised of the Missouri militia. So our side, it was it was area defense, FTX. So our side's sitting in fighting positions and manning their positions. The whole time we're living and breathing, shitting out of our foxholes, and after the Missouri militia attacked and we repelled them, the FTX scenario changed to where now we had to attack them. And when we finally conducted our attack and we actually breached their defenses and we started, attacking and pushing through their area, we found they had built like a fucking hospital and like a latrine area and like a motor pool. I mean, they had all kinds of stuff, and we're just like, oh my god, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, there might be a glimpse or two of it on there if you go back and look at Brent's One Shepherd videos from the 40th FTX and all.
Sure.
So
yeah,
but
I remember when we it was during the attack, and I came into this area that just had there was several different stretchers laid out. And what the hell am I looking at? Are they sleeping on this? What is this? And come to find out, that was their fucking medical area.
Yeah, so they would have they put guys on the line out there in those the fighting positions that were made out there in the front, and then they would pull off the guys that weren't on the line. They were back there where they could rack out. That instead of just sitting in the hole, most of us, hey man, you're on watch and me next to you. So I get some of the concept of getting the guys off the line, in real life to get them de-stressed and be able to get back there. If you have that accommodations, as us as old Marine grunts, your ass is in that hole and your buddy's the one that's on watch and you're fucking sleeping and vice versa. But that way, if the attack comes, you have all that firepower up there. You're not trying to scramble up to the line,
Yeah, it was like two completely different methods, right? So it's there's, they have their main area and they're sending a guy to a position and then, rotating them out, one at a time. For us, it was each fire team had a fortified position that they built, and every guy slept in the position and one guy was up while the rest were down. So, and
I believe if you want more on area defense and attacking that, Charlie Company, that's their classes that they're having this year at One Shepherd. Which open enrollment is open right now too for Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie.
Yes, I've actually put that in the information box, guys. So
please go on Brent's channel if you guys are interested in One Shepherd and we're talking about, and you're like, well, what are these yahoos talking about? And see the quality of training that I haven't found in many places except for here in One Shepherd, and then of course SNS and Light Fighters, which is out there in Missouri, close to where One Shepherd was initially founded, where you actually get to do some force-on-force training, not using miles, using real weapons, tactics, and where you actually get to put your skills to the test. And it looks like soon that you'll be able to put those skills to the test in the big old great state of Texas. So we might be able to have a little bit more fun out there because it seems like your neck of the woods is a little more inept to letting dudes get out there and do some training.
Yeah,
it's going to be your land too. Is it going to have opportunities to? I know you have nifty live fire ranges around your own neck of the woods. You going to move some stuff out there too? Do you another little town or something?
Well, so that's kind of, I was talking about this earlier before you jumped on, is part of the reason what pushed me to get this done is the land that where I did all that. I did my shooting and filming and all that stuff. Like right next door, they're building hundreds of tract homes. This is out in the country.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just they wiped out, half of the woods. And it's like, yeah, I can still go out there and film, but I'm gonna have to like orient my camera in a certain direction, because if I tilt it to the right too far, you're gonna see fucking tract homes.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like the field. Oh shit! No, that's the guy's backyard. Yeah, I know. I get it. It's the same way out here. Most neck of the woods, they got. If like a developer can put some homes on it, goddamn it, they're gonna try to put some homes on it for sure. Yeah. And
then all the shooting, not filming, but like shooting with actual weapons. Like you're gonna have so many people, from the city moving out there. They start hearing that, they're gonna be calling in complaints. I'm just gonna constantly be dealing with that shit. So I'm like, yeah, fuck that. That's what kind of. That was one of the driving forces. So one door shuts, another one opens. And this is the words of the President Trump. Big, beautiful door. Grandest door.
Up where you're at, is it eventually going to be, you can do cold weather training up there too? Or is it not going to get as cold as it does up there in Missouri and shit? I know we talked about it briefly yesterday, but.
Just the thing about Texas, even to an extent up in Missouri too, it's not predictable, right? Like it's right. Well, today it was, I think 60, maybe 55 or 60 degrees. Yesterday it was fucking like 20.
Yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is here at Hampton Roads too, man. It's fucking 32 degrees one day. It'll be 65 tomorrow, and it's gonna fucking snow asshole deep Wednesday. So you never know. So
yeah.
But it's going to be a good time, that's for sure. And like I told you, I guess I'll be making a trip out to old Texas again.
Oh man, I'd love to have you out there for the first one for sure.
So, yeah, let's see what we got in here in the comments. Or am I catching up?
Yeah, they're starting to slow down. But earlier when I was by myself, I was trying to keep up with them. They're just going boop, 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 boop.
Oh, I bet. Get back on these every now and again. Get back on here and say hi to the fellas and talk about.
Dude, I was saying earlier when I first jumped on, man, like I haven't done a live stream in so long that I was looking at some of the controls and I was like, oh shit, I got to remember how to do all this. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while. Every now and again, I'll see something when I'm get on the YouTubes and they're like, hey, here's a stream from 2 years ago. I'm like, Jesus Christ, was that long ago or a year ago? But people got lives, man. I get it. So we both know. But it is good to get out there and train again too. So I know in Bravo or Charlie's gonna have their week in the end of March. Ours is the end of April. So out in the mountains of West Virginia for Bravo. So is it relatively flat where you're at? I know it's wooded. Is it elevation wise? Is it pretty?
There is some elevation, not drastic, but it is there.
So like Missouri is out there, like that. Okay,
kind of like that. So kind of think maybe like the nipple.
Well, again, it's going to be new land, so you're not just going to be able to say, "Hey, go to the fucking house and go to the nipple," and we're doing that. You actually have to do some goddamn land naving and some route reconnaissance and things like that. So that's good too. So, that's what's good about where we're at now in Bravo. We haven't really, explored the whole AO, but not to say, but Missouri's a good place too. Shit, where else can you go where you're flying in and helos and shit? That
Yeah, I wouldn't count on that at
no.
I don't think there's anywhere that can facilitate a Huey landing.
So it is official? It's going to be Delta.
It should be.
Okay.
So, I don't see why it wouldn't be. It'd be the next company standing up.
10-4.
So,
good to go.
Why he's asking that, guys, is because they are originally going to stand up Delta in probably the Nevada area, like Las Vegas area, but who knows where that is in the process. It's on the radar. But I just came out of left field and was like, hey, about this land, want to stand up a company? When can we start? So.
You got a goddamn poncho liner fucking jacket thing on?
Yeah, man.
Damn.
Like that?
I had to get my field jacket liner out. I wear that every now and again. So great piece of gear, by the way. Great piece of gear. Field jacket liner. Goddamn, you can wear that anytime. So it's a field jacket liner, not a fucking whoopee.
A lot of people call them smoking jackets too.
What, the one you got on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well,
it's made out of that same material, so that shit works.
You know, man, I hate to say this, but our generation is like is fading away in terms of like some of the stuff we said. You know, you still hear Marines calling, you know, their body armor flax. That's still used quite a bit, but I think it's pretty much getting replaced with like get your plate carriers and
plate carrier.
Yeah.
Well, they don't call it deuce gear anymore either, right? Do they? Or do they?
Oh, they haven't done that since.
It's just old. I mean, gear. I mean, we had the nickname for it, deuce gear. That's what the old heads called it for us too. Was deuce gear. God damn it, 782 gear.
Yeah, John says the Whoopie hoodies are the only thing better than the field jacket liner.
Okay.
Yeah,
might have to look into getting one. I think Pang Long had one that was just OD green, but I just thought he probably seamstress the damn, you know, field jacket liner up. So
yeah,
and it's got to be, can't make all that noise either. So it's got to be that good. It can't be that cheap ass Rancho field jacket liner either. That shit makes a lot of noise.
You know, since kind of going back to the subject of One Shepherd, you know, since Charlie Company has, you know, they're special, and they get to wear tiger stripes and jungle boots and all this other shit. Like, what the fuck Delta get to do, man? Have to come up with something.
Yeah, I have to come up with something. I'm looking over there now to my left is where all my uniforms are hanging up, and damn, all kinds of camis over there. We have to come up with a thing, or boots at least, and maybe the black jungles. You know, like we said.
Well, so I was thinking about that because the AO is can be flooded.
Yeah, you said, and it's wet and all, so you want those to be able to drain. You know,
right.
Because you know the jungle boots were designed to drain out real quick and shit, so they don't rot your feet off.
So it can be flooded timber somewhat frequently. So. You know, that might be a stipulation I got to run by the Shepherd Council to, you know, authorize the use of Vietnam jungle boots at Delta Company.
Well, I'd heard that I guess it's now the 3rd Marines and their littoral. You know, I was an old 2-3 Marine at one time, old jungle Marine. I know they were refilled and going back to guys in the Pacific going back to jungle boots just for that reason, because, you know, been using the regular Marine Corps issue boots, and while they work great in a lot of the environments, that constantly being wet, they're falling apart, rotting off. They didn't drain as well. They're heavy as fuck when they're wet, kind of thing too. So I don't know what they ended up doing, if they just tested them out and just said, you know, 1022 there or disregard on that, or if they are letting, you know, like when we first started fielding when I was in 3-4, and we're using the tan boots in the desert, where the rest of the Marine Corps was wearing the blacks. There were certain units that still could, because of where you were geographic, you know, could wear that. Like, so we wore the old desert boots like they had in the Gulf War time.
Right.
It's all, like you say, MET-TC, mission, you know, dependent too. So I had to get that one in there.
I miss the jungle boots, man.
I do too. And I know, you know, being an old black boot Marine, I know you had black boots when you first came in too, and yeah, you had to shine them and shit. But you know, it looks snazzy. Of course, you know, with the woodland camis, it looks fucking awesome. But you know, yeah.
I will admit though, when the suede boots first came out, like I was one of the first ones to jump on that bandwagon.
Oh yeah, me too. I went right on. They were like, hey, you can wear black boots, or you can have your desert boots, or you just gotta go buy them at the PX. And shit, I went right on down there right after checking in and bought a pair, because them bitches was cooking down there in 29 Palms and then out, you know, in the deserts. And I was like, woo! So it was great.
Well, so our reasoning was a little bit different, and I'll be the first to admit, like, it was a comfort-based decision, like, because, you know, in the black boot era, like when you came out of the field, if you didn't have 2 pairs, you came out of the field, you had to polish them bitches. And I remember when I was a young Marine, like I had two pair. I had a jungle boots, and then I had the combat boots that were like Gore-Tex lined and shit. And those fell apart on me, so I only had one pair. So every time I came out of the field, I had to polish my boots before I could go do anything. So as soon as the freaking coyote boots came out, I was like, "Fuck, I'm done, man." So I went.
Did they not issue you a pair of all leather boots and jungles? Because they gave us leathers and jungles back when I joined in '95. So we'd at least have a pair. You know, that you have your leathers in the back for a formation. You know how it is. Get your ass and have a formation. Like, come on, man, I'm just coming. But you're right about that. You definitely have to normally have one good pair of boots that you wore all the time because they were broke in, but you had to get them bitches cleaned up before the next morning formation after the field. Yeah. Now you just take that scuzz brush and just, get them cleaned up and roll. Or I don't even know if they call it a scuzz brush anymore, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we had black jungles, and then there was I think they just called it a combat boot, but it was like a Gore-Tex lined boot that was thicker, heavier. It's like an intermediate kind of boot.
And we'd have every one at the night. We have a senior guy that had the green on blacks, and that was always sharp looking with the old God's camo.
I thought that was the sharpest look, man. When the freaking digital woodland first came out, there were still dudes rocking, green jungles, and I thought that always just looked awesome.
Yep, and when you're in the garrison, then bitches would get a good shine, Yeah. So some of us may have still a job where we have to shine boots, so it's haven't forgot how to do it. Looking at a boot polishing kit right here, so. But who else in there? What do you say? Overnight patrols. And it's not close. That's something I was going to ask you yesterday too. How far away from the nearest town was hunting land, so you're not going to have a lot of light pollution and noise pollution and things of that nature? Like PSR was kind of close because
first part of what you said got cut out, so I didn't hear the first part of your question.
How close is it your spot going to be to like a town or city? Is it away where it's not going to be a lot of light pollution, noise pollution?
No,
it's in the fucking field is what we're
you're pretty far away from civilization, and,
right?
So for those that don't know, like the fob and the training area are kind of separated. So like there's the area where the fob is going to be, and then the training area is in another location, not far away, but it's in another location. So be able to do most of like the basic training and rehearsals and stuff like that at the fob area. And then when it comes time to do like missions and situational training exercise or the field training exercise, like you'll be inserted into the training area. So the training area is not going to be oversaturated to where guys just know where things are just by key terrain, right? It's going to be at least in the first few semesters before people have any real experience with it. It's going to be all new, man. It's going to be map and compass, buddy. You're going to bust out that map and compass, otherwise you're actually going to get lost in the woods.
That sounds like the first one shepherd semester you do might have to have a land nav as your warrior basic and your land nav course for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
So, and I know me and Brent have taught it before too. So,
well, I'm looking at bringing Stoker Mag down here because he's
you said he's a land nav guy, subject matter expert. So it's always good to have that too.
Hey, and let me throw this out to guys, just to kind of piggyback on the fact that One Shepherd spring semester is coming up. I'm going to need instructors for Delta Company. And if you can get your ass going, again, the first Delta semester is not going to happen until next year at the earliest. But if you can get going, I mean, you got all three companies running different semesters, man, your ass can get into the program, and by the time Delta starts up, you can be a green hat instructor. You come be one of my instructors at Delta. So gonna need the help, and I'm gonna that's what we do when a company gets started up, man. They start pulling from the other companies, like, hey, who can help get this on its feet, until you can build your own homegrown guys. So
Yeah, because it's an all volunteer thing, and we guys from all over the country. I live in Hampton Roads area, and he's in Texas, and trying to meet up. Yeah, we can do that a few times, but that's why it's good to get that out there and get that core group of guys or gals who want to do it out there closer, and that becomes your kind of your company and things, and help out. So yeah, if you got some guys out there, you got right now maybe 6-7 semesters before Delta picks up. If you want to come on over to the One Shepherd Leadership Institute and get into our cadre development program and all, or do the entire program and then get green hatted, you have time. Guys that have experience, we take that into account too, but you do have to do at least one full semester and come into our regiment and learn how we do things and our philosophies. And Brent will tell you too, it's great. A lot of guys who end up becoming green hats and black hats and running companies all have went ahead and completed the entire program to just get that full immersion experience to see how we teach things. And as Brent gets it up and running, may have other entities coming in too. So it's going to be a good thing.
Will, maybe you can explain this, since you've been in the CO seat at Bravo for a few years. The fast track process. So let's say you got a new One Shepherd student who has a military background, most likely infantry, and wants to be an instructor. What's the fast track process look like?
Well, the first thing is, you'll reach out to the regiment and doc and thing, and this is where people say, our vetting thing. So we talk with you, get to see what your experiences are and why you want to be, helping out, things of that nature. Make sure we're getting a good class of guys or gals out there. And what we require for at least you do is you got to go through a semester, being a regular paid student. Yes, even though you have the skill set with me, Brent, everybody who's done it, we've all went through the warrior basics, and a lot of that is just getting back out there, seeing how our culture is, seeing how we run things. I like our friend Les used to always say, a lot of the military stuff without the fuss, that kind of thing, getting out there. And so we'll have you'll get patched into the regiment, welcome you aboard. You'll do an STX and an FTX. And then if you do, and you have the experience and all, we can get you into the cadre development program, at which time come in. Not everybody, we want to make sure you have the ability to teach, because that's a big thing. A lot of guys and gals can go out there and can do this, like the back of their head, but then being able to teach is a big thing. So we send you through a 3-day, 2.5-day course of, general instructor school kind of thing, to get you the skill set to be able to teach and to develop classes, things of that nature. So we're not just willy-nilly just throwing dudes in there. And then once you get into the program, you do a few semesters as a green hat. So you're assisting in teaching duties. You're OCing, so you'll learn how to do OC and observer and controlling, going out there being the safety officer, running AARs or after actions, where we get together and we talk about how the students did. The one thing about One Shepherd is we teach them for the first the basic skills and then the STX, but we turn them all loose to the FTX, and then we kind of just play the referee to make sure that things are safe. We're making sure that Hire has the actual missions, and we do a lot of planning on that. We use measles, so we come up with war gaming strategies and all. So it's pretty in depth. And if you have the skill set, some guys have been out a long time. Some guys recently got out. We got people in there that never served a day in the military at all, but have come through our entire program, and they're black hat and running companies now. So don't just think that you can't complete the program and come into a teaching thing. But if you do have some experience, definitely you can reach out and try to get on there, as we call the fast track, which I believe, Brent and me and a couple other dudes did, but we've also done every class in there. We've attended, we've PL'd, we've APL'd, do radio stuff, things of that nature. So
I want to answer this question here. It says, what advice do you have for soon to be recruit Are you talking about U.S. military? So if you're talking about Marine Corps, just PT yourself. If you're a fucking PT stud, like you can get away with a lot of stuff. So if you're talking about like Air Force, well then you might want to like try sitting in front of the refrigerator and getting used to extreme cold temperatures from the AC in the buildings.
I think my biggest thing in boot camp was try not to laugh. Try not to laugh. God damn it, because they're some of the funniest humans on the planet. God damn.
Oh yeah, 100%.
God damn it. But like,
yeah, some of the stuff drill instructors say is just,
and they're able to come off shit off the top of their head. I mean, I know once you've said it, you know when to say it and kind of think, but God damn it, they're some of the funniest humans ever. So, but advice is, like Brent said, PT, and do things quickly with a purpose. Because
yeah, and in the event that you're not talking about the U.S. military, you're talking about one Shepherd being a new guy. Well, hey, don't worry about it. Freaking
PT, you need a little bit of PT too, because it is a full week. Now we have guys from all age groups and things of that nature, but you do need a little bit of stamina and all to be out there. If you've never went out there with some gear on and humped any gear, I mean, get out there, do a little bit of walking with it, because I mean we do a 2-mile force march, or we call it a hump, out there. And when you're out there doing, I mean, because we have a schedule and we have time hacks and everything too, so we got to get to where we got to go to get these training done. And then when you're out in the field, you're in the damn field. You got the students are running the school, which is, Brent will attest, it's a great thing. You give them a mission, and as OCs and we don't kind of, here, this is your mission, go at it, guys.
Yeah, and another thing I just want to say is, like, hey, one Shepherd is not the military. Like you are not going to be standing there in a position of attention while a drill instructor is freaking screaming in your face. Like, that is not what one Shepherd is. So if anybody has that illusion,
we do have formations to render honors to to America, but that's about it. And when we do our patching or giving out awards and all, but no, it's not like that at all. You ain't got to come in with me and Brent don't have beards. Dudes have beards up. That's fine. You don't have to have the same gear. When we have some requirements of what type of gear or color of gear, and Brent has explained it too, in his videos of why we do that. It's a big safety issue and being a target acquisition. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff that we did in the service, but without all the games and shit. Great bunch of guys and gals out there that just want to train, and camaraderie is a big thing too. I mean, so.
There's a very noticeable difference in comparing like one Shepherd, somebody that's actually paid to participate in the training, right? And like an active duty unit going to the field who is getting paid to be there, right? And they do it all the time. There's a difference in like the motivation level. I think just watching, some of the one Shepherd, like your one Shepherd guys are motivated to do that stuff, right? Whereas sometimes you get fatigue on the active duty side of the house because you're doing it constantly, day in, day out. You don't have like a financial incentive, like you didn't pay to go to that training. So sometimes you see like guys dragging ass on the active duty. I'm not trying to compare one Shepherd to the active duty per se, but I'm just saying, like, when you go to one Shepherd, you're there training with people that want to be there and are giving it 110% because they
and that's the big thing. Right? They paid to be there. So we also want to give them, we want to teach them a lot of good things, but we want to give them, more bang for their buck. And, so that they're like, what, because I've heard of other places where you're kind of like, God damn, I spent a fucking small fortune and didn't feel that was the best, opportunity. I can't speak, as being a paying customer originally in one Shepherd, you definitely get way more than you bargain for it. And it, not only in the training, but the food that they've served. They've had 42 years of working, getting this damn thing working, and it works great.
Right. Hey, this is Mike Klein, Small Team Supply. He's the creator of the AR RPK. and he says he's a One Shepherd alumni, Black Hat. He says good physical benchmark for One Shepherd is if you can do a 5-mile ruck and still feel good to fight, you'll be fine. So, and that's, I couldn't agree more.
Because you're out there,
So,
you're out there
'cause you
patrolling,
do-
and you know, a lot of miles on them
Yeah.
feet. You know, your Cadillacs is keeping you in the fight. And a lot of stuff that we teach out
Yes,
there
sir.
too is things that you can use in the real world too. It's not all just military. Remember, it's a leadership school that we teach leadership, but using small unit tactics, which is the fun part of it, yes, too. But there's a lot of skills that we do also teach out there that you can take back to your regular walk of life.
Guy asking, can foreigners attend?
Yes,
Absolutely.
you can. Somebody sent me an email about that before. Yes, as long as you're in the country legally. So came in through a port of entry and you have papers and that. Yes, we have alumni all over the world. We got a buddy that's from Australia, comes to One Shepherd. He also goes to Winter Forge. 1 year I was with a young lad from, I think, God, where was he from? Lithuania or some shit like that. You know, so yeah, we have alumni from, you know, Doc could be able to take it right off the top of his head, but we have alumni from all over, you know, the world in foreign countries alike. So, yep, that's why if you look at the One Shepherd page there, you'll see that, you know, we wear the American flag on one side, but you can wear it from your country of origin too. So.
One guy's asking about the price. I put the links in the description box. You guys can go. So specifically One Shepherd. Now, the training that I'm going to start hosting at my place once it's up and running, like that, those prices are going to be set by the whatever instructor is coming to host that training. If you're talking about One Shepherd, I think, don't quote me, I think it's like $1,000 for a week. Now, what does that $1,000 include? Well, that's your lodging, right? Your chow, your ammo, all that.
It's everything.
So,
it's everything. And we at One Shepherd, we bill it as the first 2 days as a block, second 2 days, which is our STX is a block, and then our 3 days is another block. So you're not handcuffed into doing each one. You can come in and do the Warrior Basic, or we're doing for Bravo. We're doing the Warrior Advanced, which is a lot of field crafting. They're also doing the mission command portion. I'm sorry, light leaders, which is as leaders, you're developing the missions, your 5-paragraph orders, your terrain models, things that more higher echelon things. The STX is when we start doing our offensive and defensive mission set that we're going to use into the FTX. So if you already got your first 3 days, we don't make you have to pay for the whole week. You can come in and do STXs and get those 2 days of training if you're in the track, or if you have already completed them all, or you're like, hey, I've already done everything in the first and second portion. I just want to go to the FTX, and you come into the FTX. But when you pay, let's say you pay for the entire week, that, like Brent said, that gets you lodging, it gets you all your meals, and believe you me, we spare no expense when it comes to feeding you. In the inn, in the field, yes, we do give you MREs, just like you would get, because you can't eat. But one thing about One Shepherd, and Brent can tell you too, when I came to this side, it was like, yeah, we're going to be eating MREs all week. Nope. Doc likes to break bread and have some good victuals, and there's definitely some good chow out there. But it also does give you all your ammo, and depending on each semester, it could be a lot of ammo, and we do smokes and flares and we have radios that are issued from One Shepherd that's managed through a third party, maps, compasses, you name it. I mean, field phones, spools of wire, all that stuff, cami net and helmets. Used to do MVGs, so and rifles, and designated marksman rifles, and freaking LSWs. And so you don't have to have any gear. You can actually pay for a semester, just come out there in the camouflage utilities that we do require, and there is a small set. But if you didn't have all the field gear in the beginning, we have gear that you can rent there for $100. And Brent will tell you, $100 if you're spending on yourself in the beginning, you're not going to get a lot of gear. But for $100 out at One Shepherd, we can get you everything. An Alice pack, we'll get you an LBV88, we'll get you canteens, everything, so that you can succeed out there and have a good training. It's so for the price, it's it's a heck of a deal. It had to go up a little bit because of food costs and things like that nature, but compared to a lot of other things out there that guys do, they say One Shepherd is the best deal around for sure, for the training that you get and for the block of training. I mean, it's a whole week. I mean, it's actually more. We get more than a week because you come in the day before and stay. And Brent will tell you too, the dinner at the end, hell, that there alone is worth its price in gold. I mean, we're talking big giant steaks, Warriors.
Well, I always laugh when every once in a while, like I see people when they go to the website and they're like, "Oh my God," whatever the price is at the time, they're like, "That's too expensive," and I'm like, "Really, dude? Like a hotel usually averages for like a mediocre hotel, usually averages like $100 for a night, right? So it's like you're staying there for seven days, like that's $700 at a regular hotel if you're going to like train somewhere." And that's not even the training cost,
right?
So it's like, I don't understand these people that are, that say shit like that. But again, what you're talking about, like, you don't have to do the whole week. But at the flip side of that is like, I've seen guys, some students that go through basic warrior course, and then they graduate and they're like, fuck, yep. I wish I was staying.
There is a whole, and we know because, life happens. We know, hey, I may not be able to take off a whole 8 or 9 days, or I have little ones at home, and the wife's like, hey, look, you guys can go for 4 days, but I need you here for some days. So we get that, and that's why you're able to do that. But I don't think I've ever met somebody who said, hey, I can only come out for the first 2 days, and when they're done those first 2 days, they've all said, God damn it, I wish I was staying the rest of the week. And we're like, hey, we're here. You got other opportunities. So it's definitely it's a bargain, but it's good training. It's good quality training. Brent will tell you, I mean, I wouldn't be out there if it wasn't. So,
one thing I want to throw out too is like when you go into like a One Shepherd FTX, like you're going up against a pure adversary, and it's like modern. I mean, it's modern pure adversary. Like there's a whole host of guys that are running MVPs. There might be some thermals out there. There's been guys that run drones, and like so you're dealing with all the tech, right? And it's twofold. Like if you have that tech, you're learning how to use it. The flip side of that is like you're learning the disadvantages of that tech, and because it's easy for someone to say like, "Oh my God, they have thermals. We're fucked. How are we going to hide?" Or whatever. I'm telling you, when you're in the woods and you have sufficient vegetation, like it really mitigates that. Same with the drones. Like every time I've seen a drone go up, I don't think I've ever been at a semester where a drone's actually found an enemy element and actually been an asset just because of the AO. Like it's been a heavily wooded AO. My AO is going to be just like that. Like a drone's probably not going to do you much good in that AO just because of the tree canopy.
And as we said before, it is something to say that instead of doing it on that flat range, just shooting and wearing your gear a little bit, then when you're actually out there patrolling in your gear and you're up, you see me, I'm down, or shit, they're shooting at me. I got to find cover. I can't just fucking stand where I'm at. And like Brent says too, being able to go out there and test gear. I mean, we've had some smart dudes out there setting up some networks and shit that me and him had no clue what the hell it was. When they explained it, it made damn sense, but we're just old dumb grunts, but there's some smart ass dudes out there that are developing some tech to use, whether it be for their own home defense or their own little training things over there. And then sometimes they go, that was a good idea on the computer and it didn't work with the shit on the field. But that's the great thing about being out there. And, if you have some bad habits, you're going to find your bad habits or you're going to improve some things too and be like, hey, that's some good knowledge to have. So for like, unprepared citizen things.
I forgot about that. So what Will's talking about is there was one semester where he and we got injected into the FTX as partisans. And there was the Blue 4 was like a small recon element, and they were supposed to rendezvous with us and pick us up, and we were going to be like local indigenous forces helping them out against the OPFOR. And so Will and I are we got inserted, so we're sitting there waiting in hiding, waiting for the Blue 4 to come to the rendezvous point. Well, lo and behold, an OPFOR element came up, 2 guys, and they set up an LPOP, like, I'm not kidding, like 10 yards from us.
And we were there for a long ass time too, just watching, like, fuck, what are we going to do? I mean, we're going to want to give ourselves away. Yeah. They're right there. I mean, they ended up, initiating what made our decisions, but
well, we were laying there for like, I don't know, 2, maybe even 3 hours, like waiting, because again, we're supposed to rendezvous with the Blue 4. Well, it got to the point where the Blue 4 were coming, and these OPFOR guys, this LPOP, saw them and were about to drop the hammer on and those guys that were going to be our rendezvous. So we had to jump the LPOP and like compromise ourselves, but otherwise they were going to kill our rendezvous guys. So we end up killing these OPFOR guys. And just like Will said, there was this like device taped to the tree, and we're like, what the fuck is that? We pull it off, and I'm looking at it. I was like, you know what this is? He's like, no. I was like, I don't fucking know what it is. We're just a bunch of infantry guys. Like we don't know.
If it wasn't for that other Yahoo that knew what it was, we'd have just carried that bitch around beeping all day with it and shit in our pack, getting our shit away. Right.
So
we were smart enough to turn the damn thing off. We were smart enough to hit the off button.
Right. So. We go back with we link up with the Blue 4. They take us back to their patrol base, and we get back to patrol base, and we're like, I don't know what the hell this is, and like I'm not trying to disparage the guy, but like some like tech nerd is like, yeah, that's a
I know exactly what that is. Yeah, this goes to there. Fucking shit from space will triangulate and tell where you're at. I'm like, well, goddamn, I'm glad we turned it off. That was when they forgot to let us know they were going light and fast, and me and Brent took enough gear for fucking 5 days, because you got to pack a little in case you get stood out there, and we're humping that shit all over that goddamn AO and back, but it was good times.
Oh, yeah. We had our full rucks.
The look on those 2 guys' face when they're like, y'all, first of all, you guys are out here too? Where the fuck y'all come from? Dead man don't tell no stories either. So if you get killed out there, they couldn't tell their friends what was up. I'm sure they may have said motherfucking Brent and Will's out there, but it's good times. It's good times. And it, they learned a lesson too. I mean,
hey, Will, maybe you can shine a light on this, just in case there's people watching that are interested in getting involved in the One Shepherd Leadership Institute. I saw recently some traffic over some uniform changes. Can you shed some light on that and why that is?
Yeah, so hold on.
So just to preference this for people that don't know, like there are 2 required uniforms to attend One Shepherd. You got to have a set of Woodland, you got to have a set of OD. And the reason for that is because during the FTX, one side wears OD, the other side wears Woodland, so that you have different uniforms. Not everybody's not wearing the same shit.
So one of the One Shepherd uniforms, of course, this is the greatest pattern in the world, but it's True Spec made this, and Proper made this style uniform that was similar to the old Army uniforms with the Velcro on the side, the slanted pockets. Well, they getting away from that. I guess manufacturers have stopped making it. So because of the availability of that uniform, we are allowing BDU style tops. We always allowed BDU style trousers, and then you only needed the ACU cut top. But due to supply issues and whatnot, we are allowing you to go back. Oh shit, my name's on there. Anyway, so we're allowing you to go BDU style. So if you can find some ACU now, they have plenty of like small shorts and shit, but normal dudes, that large regular cut out there, it's hard to find. We are allowing you to go with BDU tops and BDU bottoms. We've always allowed the bottoms. We still are doing M88 Woodland and OD Green right now. Down in Charlie Company, I think they are authorized to wear the Tiger Stripe down there. Tiger Stripes with jungle boots. Snazzy looking uni. One Shepherd also has a Tiger Stripe we were going to use for parade stuff too, but it'll all be subdued. People have asked, hey, do I have to sew the Velcro on the sides of the arms? No, not right now. Nope. We may just get where you just get the One Shepherd patches. We might, instead of buying a bunch of Velcro ones, we'll have some that are sewn on. So you can just put your One Shepherd patch on, and then it's on there. And as you go through the program, you can get your rocker at the bottom for your light fighter scroll, things of that nature. So, and it's a cost thing too. So we understand too. I think the BDU tops, you can get them $35. The other tops were a little bit more. And I don't know how Brent is. He's been wearing, he's transitioned through uniforms too. I still think the BDU top is, is a snazzy old blouse. So
I've always preferred the BDU collar.
Absolutely. And I know that they transitioned to different style collars with that style uniform, because I have the Army uniform too for when we're out there at One Shepherd for aggressing and things of that nature. And I have family members that are in the U.S. Army now, and they went away from that ACU style neck and went more to the BDU style, where it looked better. And I don't know anybody that really put that shit up around their neck, but I'm sure it had a good use for it. So yeah, that's it. Right now, you can do BDU top and bottom, but it still is in woodland and in OD green. That's a required that you have both uniforms if you come to One Shepherd.
Yeah, there's not much that's like required, but that is a hard rule, and there's a good reason for it. Again, when you do force on force, like you got to have two separate uniforms. So, like you got to have that woodland, you got to have that freaking.
Steve Marshall said Pang will bring a sewing machine. Yes, he will. Yes, hey, he's helped me out too, buddy. But yeah, as he said, we also because not every company had the ability to wash clothes and things, and as we find, I'm sure Brent's not going to have washing machines out there at whatever he ends up calling his training area, but at Alpha and in Bravo, and I think Charlie now too, we do have the ability, but we didn't always have the ability to wash our camis. You might be able to wash your ass once or twice a week, but because you had two different ones, you were not just wearing the same damn one, getting nasty into. But it is for, you may be on Op 4, you may be on the Blue 4, and it's to be able to distinguish the different platoons. Now our gear set is required to be OD green, Ranger green, a green based thing. So I think it is like that down south too in Florida though. So they're still OD green. So if you have the ACU cut tops, hey, you can still rock them. I'm not gonna lie, I've already bought me a BDU style top to wear just because I like the BDU style top better. But if you have those things, hey, they are still authorized to keep wearing them. So if you can find some ACU tops, by all means, buy them. Get your patch on the side. You can wear it with pride. If not, just get you the BDU. But you got to at least have one of each, one OD and one woodland.
Hey, real quick, going back to the washing machines. I'm gonna have washing capabilities, man. You're gonna be an ammo can with a scuzz brush, and fucking.
Well, you got some water out there, and we'll teach you during the whack where you should wash your clothes and your ass, depending on where you're drinking, also. And you'll be getting taught that this in Bravo this semester. Some field craft. So, and that's a good thing about the One Shepherd too. I mean, I've been out a while. Brent's still in there. I don't know. Do they teach a lot of field craft and purifying water, things of that nature? I know, as being a grunt back in the day, they did. Because they may not always have a resupply water. So you need to know how to purify your water, things of that nature. And One Shepherd does still keep that skill set, and how to set up shelters, and the difference in a shelter in the fob and a shelter in the field. We teach you how, to build a real shelter if you really needed to use it, and a fighting shelter. Thermal mitigations we're going to teach out there too, camouflaging, a lot of the basic stuff. So, and it's what I like about One Shepherd is, I mean, you have years of doing it in the branches, and you learn that over time, but trying to learning that to just that 1 week, and how One Shepherd has it structured is it's good the way they've had it. Like I said, they've had 42, 43 years to figure this fucking pony out. So
I'm going to point out DJ the Metalhead Mercenary, man. He's been telling me he's been designing some camouflage patterns of his own. So that's what he's referring to. That's pretty cool.
I do love woodland.
Well, cool, man. I don't really have nothing else. We got about 10 minutes before hit the 2-hour mark, and it's supposed to be a quick little thing, but you had to jump on. So
yeah. Well, again, like I said, man, congratulations and with this opportunity that's coming for you. I know you're real excited about it. We talked about it before, and the sky's the limit for you. And I know that One Shepherd being able to utilize that and you starting up that company is going to be a big thing too. Again, for all the guys that are out there or just tuning in or haven't seen it and you want to know a little bit more about One Shepherd, by all means, please check out Brent's channel at Brent0331. You can also go over to our friend Les at Pegasus Test. He has a lot of, he used to be I took the company over from him. He's got a lot of videos on there. One Shepherd themselves has a YouTube page too. You can go there and find out some things about One Shepherd and how to pack gear up. I think that's it right now.
I think they got a video over taking a shit in the field.
I mean, so there's a lot of things. And honestly, we ask people all the time and time again, how did you learn about One Shepherd? The biggest thing is from word of mouth, but the advent of YouTube and watching it. Years ago, I was sitting in, on night shift, daydreaming, turned it on there and seen a video and was like, holy shit, that looks like fun. I wonder if I could do that still. And got out there and found it. And besides them and SNS Training Solutions, which along with Light Fighter Study Group, they're the only guys in town that I know that use Miles gear. And it's not the Miles gear that we used in the military, guys. We go out there every semester and we make sure that shit is zeroed in, it's tested, it's serviced. So we know back in the old days, you got it out of the armory and you'd shoot at a dude and it hit a fucking tank on the 90 degrees or something. It wasn't what the fuck. And, and guys, it is, it had limitations. And like Brent said, we weren't paying for it. We were like, Jesus Christ, some of this training I just want to get over, hey, I killed you, all that kind of shit. But we actually take pride at One Shepherd, and so does SNS Training Solutions, to ensure that the gear is maintained, it's up to snuff, and you're going to definitely get the training that you guys have wanted. And I'm glad to see that Brent's starting it up. So
I'm glad you brought up the Miles gear, because I definitely want to hit on that. So it's kind of like the whole price thing, right? When people say $1,000 too much for a week. There's no shortage of any time I talk about One Shepherd using Miles of guys that were in the service are like, Miles sucks, blah, 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 blah. I have been in the Marine Corps almost 23 years, and I have yet to see any time that we've ever used Miles, that shit gets zeroed when it gets issued out. It just gets thrown on the weapon and they go. So it's the equivalent of you getting issued an optic and told, put it on your weapon, but you don't get to zero it, and then go do a force on force. What sucks? Does the optic suck because it wasn't zeroed to your weapon? Right? Is that the takeaway you have? I've used Miles at One Shepherd and SNS Training Solutions. It's like night and day difference when the shit is actually zeroed like it's supposed to be. And One Shepherd takes the time, and so does SNS Training Solutions. They take the time to make sure that stuff is zeroed. Last time I saw Marines training with Miles gear, they didn't even have their halos on. I was like, what are you guys doing? Where's your halos? And they're like, oh, we're not, we're just not using them. I'm like, why? Don't you understand? And
like Steve Marshall saying over there in the side, we have guys paying and others that are even during the semester. Hey, we don't think this is work. We're taking the time to service it then to try to put that, to make sure that it's not the gear. It might be the dope behind the weapon, not the dope on the weapon kind of thing, was an old saying back in the day. But we take a lot of pride to ensure that it's work. You're getting what you pay for. It's working, and it's at real ranges. I mean, so, you're engaging, we getting kills at 300 meters plus, and we could tell at the end when we download all the gear where their hits are, if they're on the chest, if they're on the head, so it gives you that near miss So since we can't hear the bullet crack next to your ear if you've ever been in combat, but it gives you that audible notice. So if you're fucking bebopping and shit, you're getting your fucking ass down. So, but again, One Shepherd is and SNS Training Solutions take pride in making sure that their things are zeroed.
Yeah. I mean, is it a perfect system? No. Like, yes, you're going to run into situations where like vegetation prevents that laser from getting through. And yeah, is that realistic? No, absolutely no. A 5.56 will punch right through that vegetation. However, name me another simulation system where you're going to be engaging dudes at 500 meters. Last winter forward, we had I was part of the op forward, and there was an ambush that kicked off, and there were two guys that got smoked at no less than 300 meters from the Blue 4 element that had opened up on them. It was pretty cool. It was nice to see the systems, working like they should. So, anyways, I guess just some ending comments again for you latecomers. I've acquired some land, bought it out there in Texarkana. My intent is to create a training facility. I'm going to be filming content out there. That's obviously a huge plus for the channel. But the big thing is I'm going to be turning that into a training facility, hosting training, where I'm bringing in instructors to put on classes, multiple day classes, so people can start coming out there. Right now, I'm in the stage where I'm building up the infrastructure for guys to be able to stay out there on the property to go through those courses. That's where I'm at right now currently. So once that's done, then I'll start looking to bring in people. And then obviously come 2026 training year, standing up Delta Company One Shepherds. That's what we've been talking about. So we're finally going to have a One Shepherd training company in Texas, Texarkana area. So all you guys in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, Northeast, South Texas, hey man, you're going to have a training, One Shepherd training within arm's reach of you.
And we have some guys that come up to Bravo that are from down south in Louisiana, Mississippi area too. I'm sure they would like not to have to drive all the way up there. So it's good that there's another spot in the middle of the country too to help facilitate the guys that. Yeah. If it wasn't for the fact that One Shepherd started in West Virginia, I don't think I know I wouldn't have went to Missouri because I was like, damn, that'd be fun, but it's a long way for me. Well, I ended up going to Missouri, but
Yeah. I was talking to Doc today and I told him and he agreed. And I was like, I don't meet too many dudes from Texas or Oklahoma or Louisiana or anywhere down there from that area.
Yeah. I think the only one I know is J-Rob, right? So I think J-Rob, but
I hardly ever run into him I'm not saying that they don't exist, but I just hardly ever run into them at the Missouri semester. It's a solid 8-hour drive for me from North Texas.
And if you're going anywhere to Florida or to West Virginia and you're from that neck of the woods, you're flying. So that's another cost and crew.
So, I mean, where this place is going to be, guys, if you're in the North Texas area, you're 2.5-3 hours away from the next One Shepherd training company. That is nothing. That is dropping the bucket.
Well, Bravo means burr. I don't know what we'll have to say about Delta. So,
fucking Lone Star. Lone Star, baby.
Yeah. If what you sent me yesterday or day before yesterday is going to be the sticker or the patch and all, that'd be cool. Or you got time to develop one anyway. So.
Well, yeah, I would love for that. The only thing is, I don't know.
Or a coin. I mean, we'll put some money in, maybe do a coin or some shit. I think that would be cool. I mean, you don't have to have a patch, but something or a fucking one of the T-shirts from the store or some shit. Because I've been trying to get with One Shepherd to do. I think a lot of those Alpha guys have T-shirts. I'd like to get one for Bravo and one for Charlie, and now for Delta. So, if he's starting it up, it won't be long. If you guys want more information on it, you can always go to oneshepherd.com, and soon it'll have some contact information, I'm sure, with Mr. Brent over here too, or any of the other company commanders of the regiment. You guys can contact us. We get dudes are emailing all the time with questions. Feel free to send us emails. We're lucky that One Shepherd has the same thing as most companies do with Outlook and stuff. So if you shoot us an email, it may not be the same day because we have regular jobs, but we will get back up to you. So feel free to send any questions. A lot of them are about gear and equipment and when you can come and just questions. So, and again, watch Brent's videos if you want to get just a little snippet of what we do out there. It's a damn good time.
The link to One Shepherd's website's in the information box.
It'll be
as well as the semester dates for the first enrollment. So the spring semesters, the fall ones aren't posted yet.
Yeah, all three of them right now there are spots available. You can go on there and the website. It'll show you exactly what classes we're teaching for each semester. So if you're like, hey, I'm interested in doing Warrior Advanced Fieldcraft, we're doing it at Bravo. Land Nav may be going on in Missouri or in Florida. If you're in those geographical areas. And then, of course, next year, hopefully in the spring, if you're in the Texas, Oklahoma area, be coming out there and training with old Brent0331. He's a fucking YouTube star.
I hope that's not what I'm known for.
You're right.
I hope
when you came out to the state, when you came out to the 40th, though, there was a couple of dudes that were like, "Ooh, god damn, look at this! He's fucking. If I know that guy, seen him on the internet." We're like, dude, we're just regular guys, man. I promise you.
All right, guys. I think we've bumped our gums enough. So again, check out the information. So hopefully you got some good training coming down the pipe.
Well, thanks for having me again, Brent. I sure appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for jumping on, man. I was getting tired of talking by myself.
Yeah. When I happened to see it, I was like, God damn, Brent's on?
Dude, I told my wife.
Talking about his thing, huh?
I told my wife, I was like, I'm going to go do a live stream. Just tell everybody about this land.
Well, I seen a lot of likes and comments on.
It's good shit.
About the One Shepherd community, or put something out on your channel or something like that. So yeah,
I will as I get going. So all right, guys, y'all have a good night.